painting to photography, from beadwork to woodworking, KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University presents Artbeat. Artbeat highlights the work and accomplishments of local artists from in and around Winona. Support for Artbeat is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
Welcome back to Artbeat. Today we have a very exciting episode featuring the director of Love and Sugar, Thomas Johnson. Johnson is a professor at Luther College and enlists the help of his colleagues to produce unforgettable cinema. Their most recent creation, Love and Sugar, is making its rounds at the film festival circuit, touching hearts across the nation. If you like balloons, ice cream, and stories of kindness, this is the perfect film for you. I was able to speak with Thomas Johnson and hear more about the behind the scenes of this wonderful film. I'm Lucy Severson, and join me as we dive into the world of an ice cream man who purposely inspires kindness.
And I met Stephen way back when I was in graduate school at the University of Minnesota, and we were both working at the St. Paul Hotel. He was a concierge, and I was front desk. This is actually way back when I just started grad school, and so I met him there, and I knew of the work that he was doing outside of the hotel, which was being a street performer, someone who was out in the community, giving away ice cream, doing balloon animals, things like that. But then I was kind of reintroduced to him about probably like 7 or 8 years ago, and I was reintroduced by an article that was in the Minneapolis-St. Paul's City Pages, which now no longer exists. And I started to think about him as a documentary film subject, and I was in the process of finishing one film up, and I had finished another one up a few years before that. So yeah, I reached out to him shortly after reading that article, and I guess you could say 7 or 8 years later, with this film finally came to fruition. Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you know where people could find him during maybe like the summer months?
Yeah. He does a lot of special events, but also, like, if you were to go to Northeast Minneapolis during Art-A-Whirl, I think that's in late May, he would more than likely be carting around there. If you were to pop down to Rice Park in downtown St. Paul, you might find him there. Those would be my two leads. Those would be my two best leads on where to run into Stephen. Yeah.
For sure. What would you say initially drew you to this project, and how did it kind of come to fruition?
Yeah, we actually did the filming during the summer before COVID, so I filmed it back in 2019, and my plan was to do some filming the following summer, and then even some more filming after that. And because of COVID and a few other factors, that just didn't happen. So, the film's like 3.5 minutes long, so it's a super short film, like, absolutely. And there's definitely a space for that length of film and in the short subject documentary world. But my initial vision for the film is it'd be more like, right around the 10-minute mark. But yeah, after realizing that I wasn't going to do any more shooting after a few years, I was like, dude, you got to sit down and edit this film and make something from it. So I kind of had to take an honest look at the footage that I had, and I had a good interview. I knew that for sure, and basically turned the film into what was represented at Frozen River, as well as some other film festivals across the country. So yeah, it turned out okay. But I'm not going to lie, there were some points there during the production phase and post-production phase where I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to get a film out of this, but I'm glad I did. Yeah. And
it's so short, but I really felt like I personally got a sense of who this person was within those 3 to 4 minutes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. As we think about the work that we did on this film, it was very much a Luther College production project, and that's been the case for my 14 years here at Luther College and producing documentary films. Where working with a composer in residence here at Luther College, Brooke Joyce. He did the music for this film as well as some previous films. Aaron Lerth, who's a professor of art here at Luther College, he did the color grading, and so the color that you see from the film is just a little bit tweaked from what we had originally filmed, but that's pretty standard procedure when it comes to any sort of filming. And yeah, so it's primarily the three of us, but there's some other folks as well who did a little bit more kind of periphery things. And I feel like I lost a complete sight of your question. What was your question again, Lucy?
It was mostly just an observation, just that I felt like it was You could really get a sense of who Stephen Loveland was as a person from the 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that, because in poring over, I want to say about 45 minutes worth of interview footage.
Wow.
I made some conscious choices about what to include and what to exclude, of course. And so, yeah, I kind of pored over that and was like, what's going to be the best representation of him over the course of this? There's probably about 2.5 minutes of him actually speaking, right? And I didn't chop it up too much. What you see there is, if I remember correctly, maybe about 4 or 5 different kind of segments of him speaking. It's unethical to try to chop something together that isn't actually there, of course. But yeah, it's about 4 or 5 segments of him speaking, kind of almost like small paragraphs that we get from him talking about his craft.
So you are a professor at Luther College, and have your colleagues helped you out with other films as well?
They have, yes. So a previous film called Ironhead. Actually, that was. I could point to many, but I'll point to just the last 2 that came before Love and Sugar. So Ironhead, which is a film about an iron caster here in Decorah and his down on the farm iron pour. Folks can find that on Vimeo, can find that on YouTube, and then same with Marika, that folks can find on Vimeo and YouTube, and that's about a world champion cheesemaker from Thorpe, Wisconsin. So each of these are single character stories, very much fitting the expository mode of documentary filmmaking, where we're with someone as they're sharing their interests, their passions, and then along the way we cut back and forth to interviews. But this film's a little bit different, Love and Sugar, whereas we just see B-roll, we don't see shots of Stephen being interviewed, and I kind of struggled with that a little bit during the editing process, but ultimately decided that going back and forth between the B-roll and him being interviewed just wasn't the look that resonated for me as an editor. But yeah, to answer your question, though, got a whole team of folks who work with here at Luther. Again, Aaron Lurth, Brooke Joyce, and then usually a few other folks who are either community members or students, and other faculty staff that are involved in things.
How would you say that Love and Sugar compares to those other projects you've done?
Yeah. First off, in terms of length, this last one is 3 minutes and 35 seconds. And the previous 2 films are right around about the 8-minute mark. And so, those very much fit a short subject documentary film. Whereas this last one it still fits that, but if I was being honest about it, you kind of would add that super short rather than just the short. But they're all focusing on a single character and bringing into focus something about their lives and their crafts and the things that matter to them. So yeah, I'm asking folks to dig deep into what they care about and to share it accordingly. It's a little bit different than I've got a film coming up down the road here a little bit, but yeah, they're all expository mode documentary films on a single character.
And I was doing some research, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Love and Sugar received the Award of Excellence, right?
We had an Award of Excellence at the Canadian Shorts Film Festival.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, let me bring up a little resume here, and I've got it in front of me here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
But no, we've done pretty well. I guess to answer your question broadly, the film's done pretty well on the film festival circuit. I think we've got 9 or 10 official selections, and the next film festival is actually here in Decorah at the Oneota Film Festival. That's coming up on March 6th through the 9th. We have a couple screenings there. And then we're at the Ottumwa Film Festival, which is another Iowa film festival. And yeah, of course, you don't get into every film festival you submit to, so we're batting right around 300, which we feel quite good about. And but yeah, it'll probably finish up on the film festival circuit here in May, and then on to the next project.
That's a nice segue. I was going to ask, what would you say is next in store for you?
Yeah, I'm actually, I'll give you kind of I won't tell you exactly what the film's about because I'm still working on some things there, but whereas these last films have very much fit the expository mode, I've said that about 5 times, this next one has more of kind of like an observational, fly-on-the-wall type quality, where there's numerous folks in the field, and I'm piecing together the story of an event and doing so without music, without narration, where it's very much just here's what's happening on screen, and here's the sound to go along with it. So it's it's much different than these past films, but I'm looking forward to putting it out into the world and see what folks have to think about it. So hoping for in the fall of this year to release that film and do the same things that we've done in the past and submit it to 40, 50, 60 film festivals and see what connects.
Perfect. I will certainly be on the lookout for it because I really loved this last film you've done. And if other people are also curious about your works, where can they find them?
Yeah, so I think the best place to go would be to go to Vimeo, and so Vimeo.com, and then the easiest way to get to them would be to type in the names of the films. So the last three that I've mentioned here, so Ironhead, just as it sounds, Marieke, which is spelled Marieke, again, Marieke, and then I currently have Love and Sugar. It's not publicly available on Vimeo, but I would reckon that probably in April I'll make it publicly available on that Vimeo site, just as a kind of keep it a little bit private until it's almost done with the film festival circuit. So we're almost there in terms of having it be publicly available. Yeah.
Good to know for sure. Back to the topic of Love and Sugar, what do you hope people take away from that film?
I think that when folks watch it, I want them to give me 1 second here, Lucy. It's interesting you asked this question because I was thinking about it a little bit earlier today, and I know it's recognized in how we describe the film, and I'm actually gonna pull that up and read it, and I'll expand on what I'm trying to get at. But our plot of the film, our description of it is that Love and Sugar celebrates how Stephen Loveland, renowned St. Paul, Minnesota ice cream man, purposefully inspires kindness. And so my hope is that folks can connect the things that Stephen does as an ice cream man with maybe some of their daily activities, regardless if they're professional or personal, whatever they might be, and think about the ways in which kindness can be part of their day-to-day. And we can lean as human beings a little bit more into being loving toward one another than being hateful toward one another. So that might sound a little bit cliche, but that's really what he's getting at. And I think that, again, my hope is that people can create a little bit of a connection between what they do, what he does, and how they can take it to their day-to-day. Absolutely.
I certainly got that message from the film. It's just, the vibes are very good, and you can just tell, it's just so kind to spread kindness in that way with the balloons and the ice cream and just the general, happy atmosphere.
Nice. Well, thank you, yeah.
For sure. Did you have a favorite part of making this film?
I would say after I got into the editing and had told myself you have to find the film and the materials that you have here. After about a day or two, I was like, yes, I do have something here, and I'm excited about it. So I would say there was a moment there, a couple of days, where I'm sitting down and I'm feeling the film come together. And before that, I was very much in question, do I have a film here? Am I going to have to make things happen? And so that was good to know that I indeed had a film. And I'd say the other one was that I was searching for a title a little bit, and my partner Sarah came and looked at some of the footage. It's like, well, there's the name of your film, Love and Sugar, because he says it during the film. He says, I just want to spread some love and sugar throughout the world, and so that was another kind of fun moment, I would say, where it's like, yeah, kind of like an aha, absolutely.
For sure. I always love when a title connects back to the work as well. To close us out, I have one last question, which would be, what's your favorite thing about the Frozen River Film Festival?
Oh, yeah. Back I mentioned the Ironhead film, so I could look up the exact date. I want to say it was probably 2016 when I was down there for the Frozen River Film Festival, and myself and the film subject were at the film festival, did a Q&A with it. I would say my favorite thing is just the amount of people that attended. Like, it's super cool to see the number of folks who are at each of the screenings. So the attendance is just up and up and up with each passing year. Along with that, I would say that the organizers do a fantastic job of welcoming filmmakers and just ultimately being super organized. Like, all my communication with them was incredibly clear about what they had going on, various expectations, and various parties. So yeah, it's a really well put together film festival, and the folks who do that work should be commended for it, and know that the ways in which they put that film festival together, like, rival any other film festival that I've been to across the country over the last, I guess, 20 years. So yeah, they're doing good work.
Oh, very high praise.
Yeah, no, I mean it sincerely. Yeah.
You heard it here. Well, thank you for joining me today. That will conclude our interview.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Lucy. Yeah, pleasure to connect with you. And when this next film comes to fruition, I will. I'll keep you in the know.
Oh, for sure. I will be on the lookout. For sure.
Thanks again to Thomas Johnson for joining us on this episode of Artbeat. To see more of his work, check out his Vimeo at Thomas C. Johnson. For more conversations on art, tune into Artbeat, Tuesdays at 12:30 right here on 89.5 KQAL.
Artbeat is written and produced by KQAL FM on the campus of Winona State University. Visit us on the web at kqal.org.